Hello and welcome to the BombCast. I'm your host, Alicia, and today I'm going to be talking to Jordan Steen, also known as the serial entrepreneur. And Jordan runs a social media company where they teach both personal branding as well as how to run a successful digital marketing company online. So we are so excited to have him today. Welcome, Jordan.
Thank you, Alicia, for having me. I'm excited to be here. And really, I hope this is testament to a lot of business owners who don't understand the power of collaboration, that just because you're in the same niche, you have a lot of the same types of audiences or customers. Collaboration is one of the best ways to get it. So thank you guys for bringing me on the show and allowing me to be a part of your journey. So thanks.
Absolutely. We love hearing outside input, and it makes us all better, right? That's what we're here for.
Exactly.
So before we jump in, I would love for you to just tell us a little bit about how you got into this, social media, digital marketing, personal branding world, so that we've got, an understanding of how you ended up here.
I always love that question. It's always like, yeah, just give us a little bit. And then I'm like, all right, I try to make it a little bit, but it's always way more than I want it to be. But I will try to keep it as short as possible. So really the way it started out was back in 2007. There was no such thing really as social media marketing. It was just kind of coming around. And what I started doing was, because I was an entrepreneur, always kind of have been, and have always tried to help in a marketing sense other businesses. So I decided to start making Facebook pages that were really just personal profiles into business pages. So it was much more guerrilla style marketing. And then right around 2008, Facebook launched some information about their business platform that they were going to be releasing it. And then 2009, it came out. I believe it was 2009. It's been so long now. But yeah, around that time, the Facebook Business Manager platform came out. I started creating Facebook pages for businesses, for my own businesses, and started managing them. And ever since then, I've kind of always been involved with the back-end social media managers. Then I started to branch out into email marketing and some other areas. When I was in college, I actually dropped out early from college after 5 years at college with like a year left to go, and took a job at a marketing agency. They offered me $75,000 as a 23-year-old kid to go do marketing and create campaigns and sell those. So I was like, heck yeah, that's a lot of money. Let's go do it. And really what it turned out to be was a great training experience from a sales perspective, but also a campaign and strategy and understanding digital marketing as a whole. I worked for Gannett. So a lot of you might be familiar with Gannett. Gannett owns like usatoday.com. They're the second largest to Cox Media as far as like media outlets are concerned, which most people know Cox Media. And so I worked for them for a while. They devoted a lot of training and education, but ultimately they weren't going to promote me to manager at 23 years old, even though I was training 16 sales staff as a 23-year-old. So they didn't do that. So I said, okay, well, I'm just going to go back to Atlanta and I'm going to do my own thing. I'd always known in the back of my mind, though, that I wanted to work for myself and that was going to be the long-term plan anyway. So kind of veered off. I started a little company to get some cash flow going and then started my agency. But at the same time, probably about 2 months after, maybe a month after I started my agency, I started creating a bunch of content online for other people starting an agency, because there's this guy that a lot of people are familiar with, Ty Lopez, who kind of kicked off this trend because he had a ton of money and dumped into marketing campaigns on starting a marketing agency and how it's this new business trend that anybody can make $1 million a month. In the reality, it is a great opportunity, but it does require work. And that's where I felt that a lot of the content was missing from them on their side of things. So put together the channels, started putting together the corporate side that I got to see and incorporating that into my content, as well as, the not corporate side, starting as an entrepreneur, bootstrapping your business or your agency from the ground up. People really, responded to that really well, because we were not focusing as much. I mean, we obviously did focus a lot on the theoretical side of marketing online, but really more of the practical side as well. And that's where people were like, well, I don't know. You can teach me about it and I understand it, but show me how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's where a lot of people started to draw in. And since then, 2 years later, here we are. And it's just been a crazy, crazy journey. I never thought I would see myself as a teacher. I never thought I would be a teacher, even though I knew I was good at teaching people. Like back in middle school and high school, I remember like math being something I was just good at helping other people with, but I never saw myself being a teacher. And that's ultimately what I turned out to be. So I don't know. It's kind of funny how life ends up.
Well, you never really know where the journey is going to take you, which is always a good lesson to remember when you're in the middle of it.
Right.
So the teaching aspect actually, I feel like, is a really good segue into some of this, social media marketing piece, because that is, where are you seeing that trend come in where we've shifted from people, this personal branding and marketing thing, we've shifted into this place where the real value is in providing education. So how does that fit with a personal brand? Like where do you decide how much education versus documenting versus producing content? What is that? I mean, I know that's a heavy question to jump right into, but
no, I think it's valid. And I think the best way to answer it would be it's who you're selling versus what you're selling. Right. So the who you're selling is yourself. That's kind of what your personal brand is. I know you guys have a lot of real estate people who listen to you. That's the who. You have to be personable. There needs to be a face to your agency, in my opinion, because that's what people think of. When I think of a real estate agent, I don't think of a logo of a home with a chimney I think of a person, a face, right? And so a lot of, I think really, because we work a lot with real estate agents as well with our agency. And that's where I feel like a lot of agents drop off is they don't put their face to the business. So that's the who, but then also the what is you're not just a real estate agent trying to sell people homes or get people to buy homes or trying to list their home. You're trying to sell them the process. You're trying to sell them what it is about you that makes that process easier, more valuable, and to where I don't want to have to go buy or sell that home by myself, right? Mm-hmm. Why is it that I can't live without you? And to do that, it's not send people your buyer guide, send people your seller guide. It's creating meaningful engagements at the right time with the right content. And so that's really the hardest thing to do, but that comes down to really the best thing to do is proper planning. And if you don't know what proper planning is for marketing, then seek help, because it does take a true professional. I love it when people are like, oh yeah, well, my buddy's running my Facebook page. I'm like, cool. Does your buddy have any training whatsoever, any experience prior to that would suggest he really knows what to do? Like if I asked him what the attribution model was in Facebook, is he going to have at least the slightest bit of an answer what that is? Because if not, then that shouldn't be a person managing your page. And that's what a lot of people have succumbed to because it's affordable. Well, affordable, we've all learned, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the results you want. Quality is sacrificed when it comes to quantity. So, that's kind of my opinion or my take on that.
Yeah. So you kind of touched on it a little bit, but I know, so I just came back from a big real estate conference called Inman, and this idea of personal branding was something that people were talking about a lot. In fact, I wrote down a quote that I heard from the stage that said, social media can't just be pictures of houses because there's nothing for people to connect with.
Yep.
And that's where that personal brand comes in. So for our average listener that isn't ready to jump into becoming a social media influencer, or they're not ready to hire someone to do their marketing, how can they start to build their own personal brand on the platforms that they're using, like Facebook and Instagram?
Right. So again, coming up with your image, coming up with your message. And then once you determine that, just put things together slowly. Too many people want to go out and try and get email done and social media done and website and search engine and everything done at once. Focus on something and make that your project. Start there. So if you're going to do social as the way you want to start building your personal brand, fine. But pick Instagram or pick Facebook and just start there. There's no point in you spending, because here's what people do. And here's what people don't realize is a waste of time and money. They'll go to Facebook and Instagram and they just start creating posts. But if you know anything about Facebook and Instagram, there's no organic reach anymore. That's gone. There's nothing there unless you have millions and millions of followers. And so you have to spend on ads. So if you're focusing on two platforms, it doesn't even matter if you're creating the best content possible on Facebook and Instagram, if you're spreading yourself too thin, you're not going to be able to focus on the audience in one platform. So focus on one platform, get really good at that platform. If you're going to do social, spend on ad spend, because organic reach is nothing. And if you're a local business, you will not stand out. You're flooded by people and their friends, large corporations, large businesses. Spend on your most popular posts that you have on your page. I'm not saying spend on every post. Post something. If one post gets more engagement than your average post, spend on that. Boost that with $15, $20 and see how it performs as far as getting engagement. And understand what types of posts you're promoting. If you're just promoting a post about, I don't know, let's say for real estate, I don't know, you added 10 new listings to your site. Just because you're promoting that post to a very broad audience doesn't mean that they're likely to sign up or call in. Or these need to be people who have been looking at sites or at homes on your site for the past 30 days, which you can create those types of audiences. Those are people who are most interested in seeing new listings, not someone who checked yesterday and was on your site for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. So getting back to the personal branding side, it's about creating quality content, focusing on one niche first, or one. That's why if you check our Facebook page for Serial Entrepreneur only has like 1,700 likes, which over the last probably 3 to 4 months has been growing exponentially. But we started with YouTube first, and we built the other platforms out. You want those out there for SEO, search engine purposes, and just to have a presence. But you don't need to be posting on every platform if you're just posting content that no one's engaging with. The same 4 people in your business are liking the post. That's not worth the time or the money. So spend it where it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, that's very helpful. I know that a lot of our customers struggle with this balance between their personal stuff and their business page. And how do you blend that? Because on one hand, we do know that it's not beneficial to only post pictures of houses because you can't connect with that. And you also don't want to be posting pictures of your cat every day on a business page. So how, if you are, again, you're an individual, person running your own business and you're wanting to build this up, how do you differentiate what goes where and how you find that balance between hyper business focused and also being a human being that people can connect with?
In general, when we come up with that type of strategy, like whether we want it to be professional or more fun, we stick to a standard rule of about 75% to 85% professional content. And then the rest can be fun or engaging. Now, that doesn't mean all of that 20% needs to be cat posts. It means that you should mix it up with some fun real estate stuff, like a real estate meme that might be funny. And then also just you hanging out with the cat people love that stuff. Like I work with real estate agents all the time. I'm like, dude, post the picture of you and the cat. Just post it. I don't have my makeup done. Oh my God, just post the picture of the freaking cat. Nobody cares about you having your makeup done. You care about it. And I get it, ladies. I totally understand. But at the same time, you have to understand that that's what your customers love. They want a person, especially with real estate. That is like one of the last industries left where it's not computerized. Everything about and that's getting to the point where it is being computerized. So if you understand who your audience truly is, you understand that they want a person. So show them a person, not someone who's only fit in this picture frame image that this is how they look every single day. No, you don't look like you're in makeup when you go to bed. And if you wear makeup in bed, that's weird. So unless it's not on purpose, I get that. But don't wear makeup to bed if you That's what I'm trying to tell you guys.
Yep. Well, it comes back to that authenticity. It's, I don't ever want authenticity become a buzzword because it means so much to me. But really, at the end of the day, it is, people want something they can connect with. People don't want to feel like they're being marketed to. So, right. Obviously we're a video company and I spend a lot of time teaching, sales professionals on this idea of doing more authentic video. And this is something that we come against all the time. People want a filter. They're like, well, I don't, why can't we do filters? Or there is this innate fear, but really what it comes back down to is people can tell when they're being marketed to. And if it feels fake, they have a different reaction to it.
Right. No, I totally agree. I mean, we're all victim to it. We all are because we're all vain in some sense. Yep. But at the same time, you have to understand like that's, I mean, my channel is proof. We started a YouTube channel less than 2 years ago. We're already at 21,000 subscribers there, and we don't spend anything on ads. We've been generating well over 5 figures for the past 6 months, 8 months on this 1.5-year-old business, and we don't spend on ads. So that's the thing. It's all about the content and the authenticity of what you're trying to produce, and then who your audience is, making sure that you understand what you're there to solve. If you sell ice, you're not selling ice to sell ice to someone. You're selling it to make that drink the coldest drink you've ever had in your life. That's what you're selling, right? You're selling the solution. You're not selling the product. And too many people focus on their product and not what this is what I teach my students in my marketing agency course. When you're going to sell a business owner, you don't focus on, we're going to do Facebook marketing and ads. You focus on, Mr. Business Owner, look, I know you want to spend more time with those kids and go on more vacations. Let's get you to freaking Hawaii. How do we get you there? We're going to run Facebook campaigns. We're going to do this, and that's going to get you to your vacation home in Hawaii. That's what we focus on when we sell. We're not focusing on the services, because the business owner doesn't care about they want you to get the results. That's it.
Yeah.
So that's, you want to think the same thing, whether it's you selling homes or selling cars or whatever you're selling.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's a great reminder for all of us that we are selling the solution to people's needs. That's what compels them to buy is, oh, is this going to fix my problem? Is this going to make my life easier? Is this going to give me the home of my dreams that my kids are going to play in the backyard in? So that's good information.
Right.
So Facebook is a beast.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people, and there's, I don't think Facebook is going anywhere as much as it is going to change. But, what are some shifts in Facebook marketing that you anticipate that our audience, might want to be aware of or pay attention to?
Messenger marketing. Biggest thing out there right now as far as Facebook and new developments. Everything else is pretty much the same. They're just optimizing it, making it better, right? The biggest development would be messenger bots and automation, which for most of you guys, if you're real estate agents, what I recommend is reaching out to me on one of my social platforms or something like that and getting in touch with me. I can put you in touch with my friend, Chris Harden. And if you haven't heard of him, check him out. He's put together a messenger bot template that's driving leads for tons and tons of real estate agents. They're really, really loving it. And from what I've seen from his stuff, it's really working. But messenger bots are going to be the future. And then just understanding. Can you
let our audience know what a messenger bot is? Because I guarantee that is a new word for a lot of them.
Oh, yeah, sure. So a messenger bot is, you guys are all familiar with Facebook Messenger. And if you're not, get out from under your shell or your cave, wherever it is that you live. Facebook Messenger is, I'll put it to you like this. I actually was talking to someone who's a colleague of mine who wants to start their own text messaging service. And I told him, that's great, but the text messaging industry is it's not going to die, but it is losing share to messenger marketing. Meaning people are spending more time in Messenger because it's easier, it's more efficient, and I don't have to sit there on 5 minutes or on a 5-minute hold just to get a 30-second question answered. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with real estate agents. Is basically you're using Facebook, which Facebook is going to be integrating Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp Messenger all into one platform. So you're going to be able to hit all of these places from 3 different platforms in one. So that's another reason.
Yeah.
But it's a way for you to get quick and easy and efficient communication to people. It's basically the new email list, except the open rates are anywhere from 75% to 85, 95% instead of 15, 20% is a good open rate. 30% is a good open rate with emails.
Yeah.
Right. So the engagement is instantly higher. So Facebook Messenger automation and bot automation. So by automation, what I mean is literally it's set up, you build campaigns set up in a way to where if Mr. John wants to come in and talk about listing his home, he clicks some buttons, some messages are sent, and within 3 to 4 minutes, you have an appointment set for next Tuesday for him to talk about listing his home with you guys. It's that simple. And it didn't require any man hours, meaning you just saved a bunch of money and marketed to someone for pennies on the dollar if you're running messenger ads.
Yeah.
Messenger, huge. I would say that just in general, understanding what Facebook is doing from a user experience perspective. You have to understand, and this is where most people forget from a business perspective, is Facebook's job isn't to help you as a business owner. It isn't. Their main job is their audience, which is their user base, which is not businesses. It's people like you and I using it with our friends. It's a social platform, not a business platform first. So if they don't keep their users happy, then businesses are not going to be happy because they don't have a user base there to advertise to, right? That being said, Facebook, for example, that's why they got rid of so much organic reach for business posts, because it was flooding the market. Facebook has been losing market share as far as their audience size to Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, other platforms for the past 10 years. And so that's what they have to keep in mind is, where is content really going? How are people really engaging with social platforms to make a purchasing decision or some sort of engagement with someone else online? And so just keeping those thoughts in mind, and then keeping up obviously with the news that Facebook releases or any trends that you see happening, just being cognizant really to what's going on around you.
Yeah. No, that's helpful. That's really helpful. So video, let's talk about video, because obviously we're a video company. We're video forward. You built your audience on YouTube. So let's talk about that. What impact do you think video itself has on building a brand and that social marketing?
Well, there is no social marketing anymore without video. I'll put it to you like that. The only social marketing that exists without video would be meme pages. And even meme pages have like little video reels. So in my opinion, if you're not using video in the next couple of years, you're not going to be a business that's relevant to anyone in your local area. And since most businesses are local, small and medium-sized businesses, you have to take action now. Start recording everything. That's why, I mean, literally, I record everything. I have 5 different cameras, but I just hired another videographer and I'm paying him a decent sum of money a month to start shooting video while I'm walking around, because I want stuff that I'm just doing while I'm going out, because people like that stuff. Yeah. And I don't want to have to think and necessarily plan, okay, we have to shoot today to do this so that way I just want it done. And so we're considering every different possibility with regards to getting video content created, because it is the way to communicate with people, and it's the way that people want to be communicated with. Reading is fun, but that's more of I'm sitting in my office or my bed and I just need something quiet and easy to look through, right? Versus video is something very engaging. I can do it any time of the day, no matter where I'm at. I've seen people have video on in their car and just play it through the audio. I have students that they're like, we play your YouTube videos because you don't have a podcast, which we're working on soon, but we don't have a podcast. So they just put the video on in their car and they just listen to it like it's a podcast.
Yeah.
So, and that's the other side of it that people don't even realize they're missing out on. Video content is so amazing because you have content for days. Like you have social posts. When you create a blog or a vlog, not a blog, but a vlog and a video style podcast or any type of regular video content, you have something to use on any social platform for ad campaigns, just for general content. People are always like, well, what do I post? That's what you post. And so, video is the future of marketing. And if you're not doing it, really, again, you're just not going to be relevant. Digital marketing, video marketing in general, you have to be involved.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's always fun to hear someone else preaching the same things that we preach. Like, it's time to do video. If you have not been doing video, it's time to start doing video.
Right. Yeah. Yep. And I mean, to help prove that point even further, Instagram, which isn't even so there's 2 types. There's short form marketing, which is like quick Instagram posts, right? They're only a minute long, a video. And then there's long form marketing, which is those longer form videos like on YouTube. Instagram was never a long form version of a social platform. Then they introduced Instagram TV. Why? Because they know that people want long form content and they have to have an outlet, but they didn't prior to. So that was their way to create an outlet. So, and I guess that's, a little something to watch out for you guys, because I don't really know how IGTV is going to perform in the future. I personally don't see it being around too long or as a super big platform because of the fact that the resolution limitations that IG puts on IGTV, you can only do it like, what is that, 16 by 9 or is that 9 by 16? I always mix about. No, that's 9 by 16. So you can only do it in 9 by 16, not 16 by 9. So there's some limitations, but as far as it being a long form platform, it does work. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to ask you your thoughts on if you think what's going to happen with IGTV. I almost feel like Instagram hasn't done a good job at training people properly to go clicking on that content, right? Like people are so programmed for certain things that they have to go somewhere else to see the longer form content. Whereas on Facebook, as they're scrolling, it's right there. Same thing with Instagram. If you're scrolling through your stories, there's stuff right in front of you, but going to the IGTV, it takes an action that I don't know consumers are used to doing yet.
I think that's part of it. My biggest thing with it is I think that that's not what Instagram is. Again, it's a short form content platform. I didn't go there to get consumed in content on my phone. That's the other issue. Instagram only exists on mobile. Desktop, it exists, but it sucks. Nobody uses Instagram on desktop ever, unless you're a marketer. That's the only reason why. And even then, it's very limited. So I'm not on my phone to consume long form content. And a lot of people still aren't. They prefer long form content on a computer, on a laptop, on a tablet, on their TV. And so I think that's part of the issue. Even though on a tablet you can have Instagram, the majority of users in general aren't using tablets as their mobile device. It's mostly phone. So it's phone or desktop or TV. And if you're not going to have, I don't know, just in general, people don't use their phone unless they're on the go, moving around. If you're at home, you're going to use your computer because you have a better setup. It's more comfortable. Right. So it's all about the nature of the platform. And that's where a lot of people miss it when it comes to planning the content, the strategy, even for Facebook or whatever. You have to understand the platform and how users use the platform. And just because a general user base uses a platform one way doesn't mean that your industry of users would use it the same way. So you have to look at it from a general perspective, but then also your industry user base, who you're selling to, how do they use the platform?
Yeah. No, that's good. So this might be a silly question to ask you, given how you built your business on YouTube, but how important is it to have a YouTube channel when you're talking about building your own personal brand and building your own little social media empire as an individual, business owner? How important is YouTube?
So I like to look at it like this. This one's going to be not long. I don't want to say long-winded because I don't want to freak anybody out, but it will be a long explanation. So YouTube is a tricky beast. Here's an example of an error that I've seen. A real estate agent using YouTube to put their home listings. Okay. Can I ask you a question? Why do you think that would be a bad idea for a real estate agent to put their YouTube, not their, just their home listings on their YouTube channel? That's all they're updating their channel with. Why would that be a bad idea?
I mean, I don't think that's really what people are going to YouTube looking for.
Thank you. When's the last time anyone ever went to YouTube and searched for a home to buy or to sell a home? The only thing I'm going to YouTube in reference to buying or selling a home would be steps to buying the home, steps to selling the home, the quickest way to buy my home, the quickest way to sell my home, moving in or out of the home, updating my home before I sell to get the most value. That's the content I'm going to YouTube to consume. I don't care.
Educational content.
Right. About the process of buying or selling, not what homes you have listed. So if you're going to list your homes on YouTube and have videos that you want to put on your website, fine. Put them unlisted. You don't need to have, nobody's go. And my favorite is new home, Brookwood, Georgia. Like, who goes to YouTube and types in new home, Brookwood? Nobody does that. Like, you should do content with a premise. Everyone goes to YouTube with a search premise or an intent, right? I'm not going there to search and even if there's an intent, it's not buy or sell a home. So just understand why people are going to YouTube. If you want to create a YouTube channel, great, but understand why your industry is going to YouTube. Don't just create a YouTube channel just to put video out there. Again, waste of time, waste of your money. You could be devoting it to something, even if it's one video a month. If that one video a month is amazing, that's what's going to rank. That's what people will watch. People have this misconception that, for example, blog articles, the 500-word blog article is the best blog article you can write. Bull. The best blog articles that rank are usually between 1,500 to 3,500 words at minimum. But most people think it's the 500-word strategy because most people don't have the attention span. Not true. Blog articles aren't just about the people. It's also about the search engine and how that relates with people, right?
Yeah.
So long-winded story to tell you guys, it is very worth it to build a YouTube channel, especially for a personal brand, if you do it based around the content and you understand search engine optimization, because that's all YouTube is a search engine. People think of YouTube as a social platform, though it has some social aspects, and which I'm super excited about, they just added YouTube stories and they added community engagement. Yeah. So that's a new feature. Only profiles of like 10K plus have it right now, but they're rolling it out later to, I think, partner programs or partner profiles as well.
Yeah.
But it allows you to be more social, right? Before that, though, and still primarily, YouTube is a search engine platform. It's not a social platform. So understand that and understand how people use search engines and how to optimize your content to get the most views with, those two factors. It's people and it's search engines. Then you'll be able to succeed a lot better. Also, one last thing I would want to say is if you're not a real estate agent and you're starting a personal brand, so say you're a sales coach or just any kind of coach or teacher or mentor, that's a little different. A real estate agent is selling a service, whereas a lot of people who have a personal brand are selling consulting or software as a service instead. Yeah. So keeping that in mind, understand that you're not going there. My strategy to it is very similar to Gary Vee's in that just give everything away. People are so concerned about giving away the secret recipe or the secret sauce. But if your secret sauce or secret recipe is complex enough, because most secret recipes are, if it's complex enough to where you can break it down into 100 to 200 different pieces, that's what you should do. And that's what is going to get people interested as long as it's valuable and I can actually use it. Jay Baer wrote a book called Utility. And if you haven't heard that book before, read it. It's all about making your content useful, having actual utility, meaning I can take it and do something with it. It's tangible and it's something that I can take and use right now. So making sure that content is broken down into a ton of pieces, but also tangible for the audience and usable, has utility. Those are the biggest things with your personal brand. And a lot of people are too afraid. Like every single thing you want to know about starting a marketing agency is on my YouTube channel. If you really want to learn it for free, go ahead. But there's about 300 videos there for you to try and piece together and figure out, well, how do I structure all of this? That's where your course or your consultation then becomes valuable to people. Yeah. So understanding that is really important. And that's why if anybody's looking to start a personal brand or become an expert at building YouTube content, blog content, marketing strategy online, we offer a course just for that. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that or not, but okay, cool. The personal branding course is something that we did for that reason. It's for people who don't understand YouTube, blog content, search engine optimization, and how to really capitalize on the personal brand, the skill set, the hobbies, or the interests that you have.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend checking that out. And that's kind of, I don't know, it's something we're really excited about because it is a new wave of business owners that are going to be able to do something completely different that is against the grain. And I'm just really excited about it. I'm excited to teach a ton of people how to do it. So.
No, that's great. I think, if I were to bring everything that we've talked about kind of up into a nice little bubble to offer everyone, it really is. It's the same theme over and over again, bring value to your consumers. That we live in the digital age where information is everywhere, right? Like the information that people used to need to get from a real estate agent is accessible everywhere. They can find any house that they want. Exactly. Yeah. So I think, it always comes back to this, bring value.
And understanding your value, understanding what your value is, because your value as a real estate agent has changed in the last year, in the last 2, 3 years, 5 years. Yep. Your value has changed. So understand where you are valuable. What is it that you actually provide for the experience for that person potentially buying or selling a home? And that's actually, you said buzzword earlier for authenticity. That's what I hate. Value has become a buzzword because people don't understand the true meaning of value. Like value is not giving away your buyer or seller guide. Everybody has a buyer or seller guide, right?
And you can find that online.
But if you put together a buyer guide with Shaquille O'Neal, I'm going to read it just because it has Shaquille O'Neal in it, and it'll probably be halfway decent, right? And I'm not saying everybody, obviously most real estate agents, but do something different. If you're going to do the buyer's guide, do something different that nobody else has done before. Don't do the same old thing that every other agency's done, that Keller Williams and every other real estate broker hands out to every single agent that comes in their office automatically.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that it's important for people to remember that giving something away that someone can't get anywhere else isn't going to hurt their business. It's going to benefit their business.
Exactly. It makes you the authority. That's the perfect example of that would be, and what drove a lot of our initial interest in the beginning was there was this whole concept about creating a digital marketing audit for a business to show them, hey, this is why you need my services as an agency. But there wasn't this really well thought out, put together plan on creating a marketing audit. And so that was one of the first videos we created, and it jumped our subscriber list up to about 2,000 new subscribers in the first like 3 or 4 months of running the channel, like brand new, spanking brand new, which if you've never started a YouTube channel before, it is not easy to get a new channel up to 2,000-3,000 new subscribers in the first couple of months, unless you already have something to promote it with, like another channel, right? So it's all about the value and finding that one thing that no other competitor is doing that you can do either differently or better than what the competitor is currently doing.
I love it. I feel like that is a perfect place to end because you just wrapped it up there in a nice little bow. So thank you.
You're welcome. I always like to end it on a good note, so I'm glad I could.
Absolutely. Well, I so appreciate you sharing your experience and your knowledge with us today. I know that our audience is really going to appreciate your thoughts on branding and social marketing. So thank you.
Sure. Thanks, Alicia, for having me again. And again, guys, if you want to learn anything more about marketing just in general, feel free to check us out on YouTube, Serial Entrepreneur. And it is cereal spelled like the food, not the politically correct way, because we like to have fun and I'm a little goofy. So if you can't take a little bit of fun, then I'm just not for you. But check us out, Serial Entrepreneur on YouTube. We would love to have you.